On September 4th, 2017, the Minneapolis Police Department responded to a 911 call from a mother seeking assistance to remove her teenage son, John Pope, and daughter from home following an altercation involving unplugging phone chargers. The mother alleged that her son had assaulted her by grabbing and attempting to wrestle her. Officers arrived at the residence and encountered John Pope, who was calmly using his phone in his bedroom. Upon entering, the officers informed him that he was under arrest. Despite Pope's attempts to explain that his mother was intoxicated and had assaulted him, the officers chose to escalate the situation without considering his account.
That's all right, John. JC should be in the room.
All right. John, why don't you come on here? All right, sit right here.
Fine.
Why don't you stand up for me? Oh, you're under arrest, so stand up.
I'm not under arrest.
Yeah, you are. Stand up.
My mom is drunk. You can call her brother.
Stand up.
She assaulted me.
Stand up.
Go downstairs.
I'm not gonna ask you any more time.
You can't arrest me.
Stand up.
Ask my sister.
Stand up. I'm not gonna ask you again.
You can't touch me in my own house.
Stand up.
You can't touch me in my own house.
Get up now.
You can't touch me in my own house. Let's go.
Get on your stomach.
In my own house. You hitting me?
Police are supposed to handle these more open-ended calls for service with a high degree of objectivity and a healthy dose of skepticism. They also have to remember that they work on behalf of both parties in a dispute, not just the party who called the police. Rise of the Oathbreakers, Part 2.
Sir, how many times you come over here? Excuse me. Everybody's question and you are not answering similarly. I can answer it, I don't have to answer it. Because the lawyer was there, okay? I'm answering after you finish his question. Not so, not for really, excuse me. No back and forth. You know, okay? My question. I was standing here. Whether you like or not, I answer. You just don't like to put the answer. That's what it is. To answer your questions, you present your board. I'm the board chair. I conduct the meeting. That's what it is. Excuse me. No more. If I see you one more time, you ask. Akil? Yeah, that's what you can. Take him. Take him.
I move up here. Take out the keel. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm involved. No one's touched the mall.
What's the problem?
Remove Akil.
For what purpose?
It's distracting the meeting.
He's a physical interference in the meeting?
It's trespassing. He has a right to control who's in the room. It's a defiant trespass.
Has he been notified he's not allowed in the room?
Well, no, he just was told that he has to leave, and he hasn't left.
But he's allowed to be here as the public, correct?
Not anymore. No, once the board...
Is he physically interfering with the meeting?
He doesn't have to physically interfere.
Exactly.
If you read the statute, he does have to.
I'm not talking about obstruction of a public meeting. I'm talking about the defiant trespass statute.
Right.
He's a trespasser in this meeting.
He's not trespassing.
He is.
No, he's not. Then you guys can sign complaints.
It's his duty.
You guys can sign complaints then at a later date and time against him.
It's the board.
We're not removing him.
It's the board president's decision to assume he'll be in the room or not. If someone's here against his will, it's their trespasser. They have to be removed.
Because he was at one, twice. You heard it.
Yeah, but he's not interfering with the meeting.
But he is.
He's not physically interfering.
The way that we're conducting the meeting.
He's disrupting the meeting.
No, he's not. No, he's not. There's case law on a man bill with people that are yelling in the meeting, and they say something just like that, get him out. And he was exonerated of
He was
it.
one. He was one fight.
I'm not removing him. He's not physically interfering with the meeting. He's allowed to be upset and raise his voice and say his opinion. He's not being removed from the meeting. He's not physically interfering with the meeting. It's being recorded on body camera right now.
Yeah, that's fine. It's being recorded. I'm going to let you know that I have to have a conversation with the chief tomorrow because that's totally inappropriate.
That's fine.
The board chair has the right to run the meeting.
Do what you think. Do what you think you need to do then, right?
Okay. He's standing up for the American today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Wow, an officer who actually possesses critical thinking skills, thinks independently. He didn't act like a robot, just following orders. What we usually see is, get him out of here, and the cops in the room, they just swarm because they're following orders, and they toss the person out like a sack of potatoes. And a lot of times they arrest them. Disorderly conduct, disrupting a public meeting, trespassing. But not this officer. Remember, at the beginning I said that they're supposed to work on behalf of both parties? Both parties in a dispute. Well, when he walked up, he asked a question, and there was only 3 words in that question. 3 words. And we never hear officers utter those 3 words. And as a reminder, here they are.
Kill, I don't like it. Nothing more, but don't touch the law.
What's the problem?
Notice how polite and professional the officer is. He doesn't just blindly follow orders and start throwing bodies out of the meeting. Remember, he was there. He was listening and watching everything that was going on. And I'm going to guess he had already made up his mind. If something like this happened, that he was going to be objective and somewhat skeptical. But he's working on behalf of both parties. He's listening to the council members, the Board of Education folks, and the public, who these people serve, not the other way around. So the officer probably already had a plan. But the point of this is, what's the problem? That is a clarification question. And that's what very few officers ever ask. They act, they don't ask. This officer asked, what's the problem? Interesting how they turn their attention now to the officer. He's the bad guy because he didn't just jump up and kiss their ass. The officer is now the bad guy. And they just said that we're going to talk to the chief. We're going to report you to the chief, like little grade schoolers. But that's not the only person they're going to talk to. Oh, it'll include the mayor and the city manager, because these people are idiots. These board members are like so many other representatives of the government. They have no concept of the Constitution, Bill of Rights, in this case, the First Amendment. None. We want officers to honor their oath, don't we? Well, that's what this officer did in this particular situation. He honored his oath. He kept a cool and level head, and he asked, what's the problem? The clarification question. This officer is a rare breed indeed. Well done. Well done.